The clouds of dust that rise every time we pass another car along the dirt road give the landscape a muffled atmosphere. A long transfer is planned for today, 515 kilometers through barren and boundless landscapes, with destination Twyfelfontein. We set off at dawn from Epupa Falls, following the advice of the guide who accompanied us to the village of Omanji, and stopped to visit the Ovahimba Living Museum, about 40 kilometers from Apuo. It is difficult to place the Ovahimba Living Museum. It moves on an uncertain border between anthropological museum, historical reconstruction, and authentic village. On the one hand, it offers a suggestive glimpse into Himba life, allowing us to observe their traditions up close. However, the need to pay an entrance fee introduces a different, unexpected nuance that influences us. If in the village of Omanji we had perceived an engaging spontaneity, here the awareness of being in an organized context leads us to experience the scenes of life with a certain detachment. The everyday gestures, the hinted smiles, and even the slow rhythm of manual labor seem to take on a light patina of representation, almost as if they were part of show stage for the eyes of curious visitors. It is a subtle difference, but on an emotional level, it changes the perception of what we see, reminding us how delicate the balance between authenticity and tourism is. Every morning, almost always at dawn, one of the first rituals among the Himba is to lead the herds to pasture. This moment is not only an economic necessity, but a gesture of deep connection with the land and with the rhythm of nature, which guides and punctuates every action. The shepherds, often young and barefoot, move with a sure step and watchful gaze, following paths traced by generations, while the sun begins to filter through the bushes and the colors of the desert come to life. Taking the herds to pasture is a daily activity that goes beyond the simple act of leading the animals. It represents an act of care and protection, of deep knowledge of the territory, which the Himba consider sacred. For them, livestock is not only a source of sustenance, but an integral part of the family and cultural heritage, a symbol of wealth and identity that reflects an ancient and delicate balance with nature. The first light of day illuminates the morning preparations, and, with patient and skillful gestures, the fire, the beating heart of the Himba village, is lit. While the thin smoke rises into the sky, the lambs are freed from the fold. They move curiously and full of energy, filling the air with their lively bleating. This moment, simple but full of life, awakens the village, marking the beginning of a new day. The contrast is surprising and almost disarming. After having witnessed the joyful vivacity of the newly freed lambs, I find myself faced with a completely different scene. A Himba woman, with precise and confident gestures, is flaying a lamb. Every movement of her hands reveals an experience and a deep familiarity with the material, a relationship with life and death that here appears natural and necessary. It is a vision that brings us back to the raw essentiality of life in the village, where the animal is not only a playmate, but also a precious resource. The scene takes me back to an ancestral humanity, made of cycles in which joy and necessity, life and death, coexist in a simplicity that goes beyond judgment.
So that's the perfume. So that's the perfume.
The Himba shower, as we have already seen in Omanjit, is a fascinating purification rite that reflects the ingenuity and adaptation of Himba women to the difficult conditions of their environment. Unable to wash with water because of the red ochre paste that covers their bodies and hair, the mixture that serves as protection against the sun and insects, Himba women light a small fire inside the hut, using dried herbs that are aromatic and have antiseptic properties. The smoke that is released becomes their water, a purifying vapor that envelopes the body in a sort of smoke bath. As the smoke wafts under your arms, across your face, and through your hair, the scent of herbs fills the air, creating an intimate, spiritual atmosphere. The cone on which they purify the leather skirts is also ingenious.
Take your child here, and then the chief is going to give the names to your baby. Yeah, so in each and every Himba name, so for the Himba it is a meaning. Each and every Himba names for you. So the person who keep the fire alive is the first son of the chief. So the entrance that you can see there, so that entrance is only for Himba people, for them to go to the garden.
Where there is the door?
Yeah, where is the door? So they grow. So the animals grow in the garden near the house. And also
Fai l'esploratore?
Why were you doing
Anche di là.
Despite initial reservations, the visit to the Ovahimba Living Museum still proved to be a rich and stimulating experience. The Himba culture, with its many facets, is fascinating and complex, and being immersed in this reality was a precious opportunity to get to know a world that lives on ancient traditions. Thanks to the museum guide, we discovered customs, practices, and rituals that would have escaped us without his story. From a symbolism of hairstyles to the value of iron and leather jewelry, every detail reflects a deep meaning, offering a unique window into Himba life and the choices that mark its time. The experience exceeded our expectations. Not only did it teach us a lot, but it allowed us to grasp the nuances of a culture that resists the passage of time, enriching our journey and leaving an impression that we will carry with us for a long time.
The parents can marry, like brother and sister can marry or not?
no, only your cousin.
Your cousin can
Then you can marry your cousin.
Brother and sister, no?
Yeah. Cousin dulu piro? And then this is an extension one.
Okay.
So, but long time ago, so girls they normally used to grow hair that face in front, like long one.
Yeah.
And then long time ago they normally used to cut at the end and then they put here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but nowadays they want to look more beautiful, so they normally used to buy from town, like poor. Yeah.
But it's true hair or not?
This is a fake hair. You can also feel it. You can also feel it.
Ah, del bravo. È un reggiseno che non tiene un cavolo.
Qual è? Qual è il reggiseno? Ah, questi incroci.
And this is a special head dress for the ladies.
Yeah.
So they have two tabs. So this one is made out of goat skin. So this one is more respected. So let me say, so whenever you are getting married on your wedding day, you wear this one. That one on top. So that one is either maybe you are going to the bush. Yeah, like this one is sitting here. This one. Like this one. So that one is either maybe you are trying to go to the bush to collect firewood or maybe a basket of water whereby you have to carry on your head. So for the hair not to get broken or maybe, so you have to put like a layer on
Ma
top.
quella è una protezione quando vanno a raccogliere l'acqua, il legno, non riesce a portare così.
Quella lì?
We haven't? No, the first and second one.
So after you give birth, you have to make sure that you make one for yourself. This is the final birth, the lady.
They make by ourselves, there is some special trial.
Il peso della
So when you have more than two babies, you put two eyes.
Quindi quando c'hai una sola riga, ce n'hai 0 figli o 1, se metti 2 linee, 2 figli.
Parents they give you like this a gift. No, after the first. Yeah,
Before.
So girls they can get married at an age.
7, 8.
Yeah, so let me say I'm 35 now. I'm like a mature lady after the first menstruation, and after that I'm coming to the parents to ask permission to take my wife to my homestead.
Quindi loro la promessa matrimoniale fino a che lei ha 2 anni, quindi 35 anni di differenza. Poi possono procedere. No, a 7 ha detto da 2 anni.
A 10 anni è sposato.
Scuola
Tante è una differenza, perché se fosse una cosa tra
Cioè tra 10
So this is a girl. It's a girl. First it goes behind.
ok,
Yeah. So after the first menstruations, it's going to change the hairstyle from the plastic one, 2 of them.
Okay.
So 2 of them can show that it's now getting married soon, very
Okay.
soon.
I walk among the huts of the village, letting myself be fascinated by the primitive but incredibly functional architecture of these dwellings, which tell of a deep connection with the surrounding nature. The huts, built with a mixture of earth and dung, reveal their beauty in the small cracks that form on the dried surface, creating a weave of textures that seem to tell the story of the place, marked by the sun and the wind. In some of the oldest huts, the mopane wooden structure emerges from beneath the layers, like a tenacious root holding up what time has slowly worn away. This hand-worked wood is the backbone of the hut, simple and sturdy, and gives the idea of a handed-down wisdom that transforms natural elements into a safe refuge. Every detail, from the cracked walls to the smell of dry earth, conveys a sense of authenticity and rootedness. Here the house is not just a shelter, but an extension of the earth itself, shaped by expert hands that know the secrets of a 1,000-year-old tradition. I am enchanted by the fences of woven logs that elegantly outline the borders of the Himba village. These fences, built with skill and precision, are not just barriers. They're the fruit of the ingenuity and creativity of a people who have been able to transform simple elements, donated by nature, into functional and harmonious works. The trunks cross and overlap as in an orderly dance, creating a unique architecture that conveys solidity and beauty. Every animal enclosure, every village boundary, every hut support seems to tell a story, that of an intimate bond with the land and of a mastery passed down from generation to generation. Admiring these structures, I realize that they are not just useful barriers, but true masterpieces of spontaneous craftsmanship, lines and weaves that, in their perfect interlocking, make the village a living work of art, born from the encounter between the human hand and nature. Before each visit, we carefully consulted with local guides to understand the most urgent needs of the villages so that we could provide targeted and truly useful aid. We wanted our contribution to be meaningful and respectful, avoiding superficial donations and instead focusing on goods that could really make a difference in the daily lives of these communities. So, we have carefully chosen essential items, often simple but precious for those who live in places where access to basic resources is limited. Leaving this aid, the fruit of a simple and sincere gesture, allowed us to feel part of something bigger, going beyond the role of visitors to build an authentic bond with the locals. With every small gesture, we hope to have contributed to making life a little easier in these villages that have welcomed us with generosity and taught us so much about values and resilience.